Hello, everyone. Tyler Ford here, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty, and welcome to this episode of eXp Explained. And I've got Jeff Hannon here with me, and we're going to be talking about Rev Share. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Great. How you doing, Tyler?
Good, good. So, yeah, each and every week we've been doing just sharing eXp, and we're fired up, excited about it. And it's one of the best things that Jeff and I have done. And it was a great decision. And the one thing that Jeff and I both have discovered over the years, and especially for me, is a lot of people think they understand eXp and they don't. And in hindsight, I wish I would have sat down with Jeff a lot sooner than I did. I kind of kept him at a distance because I didn't want to be sold. Thought I knew what eXp was, and took me about a year to finally sit down with them. And once I sat down with them, I was that night I couldn't sleep once I really understood it. But a big part of eXp is what we call Rev Share, and we're going to dive into that. And we're going to be doing these episodes and diving into each thing within eXp that can be life changing for people. But before we start, we just want to do a little income disclaimer. So we're going to go over Rev Share, and there's a lot of people in eXp where the Rev Share has become life-changing, where it's a leveraged income. And that leveraged income is far more than a commission check, where it's revenue share based on the work that people do to share eXp with others, and they get people into eXp. And as a result of people, or I should say real estate agents, going out and doing what they already do, and that's helping people buy and sell real estate, eXp pays revenue share to the people, to the person that got that person involved in eXp, and then it pays generational income. So little disclaimer that there's no guarantees. Even though people are doing really well, it does take work. So with that, I'm gonna kind of turn it over to Jeff. Jeff is my mentor. Jeff is the one that got me signed up in eXp, and Jeff's just a rock star in terms of being extremely helpful and knowledgeable about eXp. He was one of the first agents in Arizona to join eXp.
Yeah. A lot of people think they know, like you said, about eXp, and hey, they're just a recruiting company. Absolutely not true. Only really about 5% of our 75,000 agents do any recruiting to any significant level. We have a lot of agents that have friends that joined eXp because they joined, and they get paid because they were the ones that introduced them. But they're just actively selling houses. We sell a ton of houses every year. Our commercial division is a separate brokerage. It's the fastest growing commercial brokerage now in the country. We're the fastest growing residential brokerage in the country. And so to me, the really cool thing about revenue share is you can scale. And I own my own brokerage for 2012, about 14 years. And I never recruited any agents because I was scared to death of getting sued, of having to review their contracts. I'd have to get office space. And to me, it just seemed like not worth the risk. But on the other hand, I'm a solo agent then. Everything I earn is something I went out and got. And do I want to be selling houses when I'm 70 years old? So there was this pull both ways, either grow the business or keep selling on my own. When I found eXp, it solved my problem because I could now scale by introducing the eXp model to agents and helping them sell more houses, get paid from the company's share of their commission split, and not be the broker, not have to review contracts. I help all my agents. I pick up my phone and answer and help solve problems and help them grow and sell more houses and grow their passive income. But I am not the broker. So any sticky situations, I get to hand them off to our great broker team. I love them. They don't get paid.
Well, sorry about that. Jeff's connection just got disconnected. So hopefully we get him back on here. And the one thing that I want to talk about is, I came from Keller Williams, and there's a big difference between revenue share and profit share. So eXp has rev share, which is top line revenue. So there's a huge difference. So it's not subjective. You know exactly what it is. Jeff is coming back here. So you were gone, Jeff, but I'm comparing real quickly the difference between revenue share and profit share. So rev share is top line revenue. It's not subjective. You know exactly where it is. Where profit share, it takes top line revenue, subtracts out all the expenses, and whatever's left over in terms of the gross from the net is what they pay out. And a lot of times there's no profit to pay out. And, at Keller Williams, at the end of the day, our profit center was not profitable. So in terms of that money that I was making, rev share, again, it's not subjective and it's based on your efforts and you know exactly where you stand. So Jeff, you were talking about, now that you're back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think my camera unplugged there for a second.
Yep.
So yeah, I was essentially saying that you can build a brokerage in eXp without being the broker. It's all the good parts of being the broker, helping your agents if you want to, getting paid when they sell houses, but not the liability, not the contract review. All that stuff is offloaded to our great Arizona State broker team.
Yeah, and Jeff, talk about, you're not limited to the state that you're licensed in too. So as a broker, you're limited to the state that you're in. And in order to go scale, you got to go get a license in another state. With eXp, I'll let Jeff explain.
So
awesome.
Like if I had, my own brokerage still, and I wanted to maybe go buy a franchise, which I could have done, you got to put down a big chunk of money and get office space. But when you buy that franchise, you're buying Tucson, Arizona, or Sierra Vista, Arizona, whatever. You cannot go recruit in San Diego or Seattle because somebody else owns that franchise. As one national company, we're not franchised out. So I have agents in Idaho, North Carolina, Florida. The bulk of my agents are in Tucson because that's where I am. But you're not limited. You can go all 50 states.
Well, and other countries as we expand, Canada, and I can't keep track. I mean, they're always adding countries.
It's ridiculous. We're growing so fast because we don't have to go establish a brick and mortar infrastructure in these countries as we grow, because we're cloud based. And we'll, in a different episode, we'll talk about the cloud campus and how awesome that is. But for me, revenue share is building up some leveraged income so that you actually have an avenue to retire from real estate, which really no other brokerage provides.
So Jeff, in simple terms and keeping it real simple, we're going to go in and share some slides. What is rev share?
So perfect example. I introduced Tyler to the company. He signed up. He named me as his sponsor. Every time Tyler goes out and sells a house, he starts off on an 80-20 split, just like every one of our agents. He gets 80% of the gross commission. The company takes 20% of the gross commission. Out of that 20%, up until Tyler caps every year, I get a percentage of the company split. It's essentially 3.5% of the full gross commission on every deal he does. So on the 22nd of every month, I'm going to get a direct deposit based on the houses that Tyler sold the month before, and every other agent that I brought on personally the month before. But what's really cool is when Tyler brings somebody on, I also get a percentage of that person and the next person down 7 levels. So it's, you may not know a ton of agents, but if you bring on a few, you might bring on somebody who blows up. And, I don't know those agents. I know them now, but I didn't know the agents in North Carolina and Florida and Idaho. One of my agents in my revenue share group knew them and brought them to the company. And so it can grow kind of exponentially. If you put it pays
up to 7 levels, but in order to start to unlock the deeper levels, there's certain things you need to do in terms of having a certain amount of people that you've personally enrolled.
Right. And it's really simple. It's so level 1, you're going to get 3.5% of their gross commission.
And we'll share those screens if you want to, Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead and it'll
okay. So real quickly, I mean, eXp is far more than a commission check, and you no longer have to exchange hours for dollars. The typical agent, they're only as good as their last deal and their last commission. And with eXp, there's far more than that. One of the other things we're going to talk about in another upcoming episode is profit share. That one was big for me, but eXp is far more than a commission, and there's so many different other ways that you can earn income. So we're gonna kind of share a couple screens here. Let me switch over. So this one we're just going to put up here. We're not going to talk about this, but you could stop the video and read about the Rev Share plan. This one you want to talk about, Jeff?
Sure. So these are the people that you bring on directly. So you do a transaction with an agent. You really like how they worked. You reach out to them and share the model. They decide to sign up. They go on your tier 1. Those are all the agents you personally brought in, and you get up to $2,800 a year. If they're a capping agent, that's what you would get every year. So once they cap, you stop getting revenue share from them because the company stops taking the commission split from them, and they're at 100% commission for the rest of the year, which a lot of our agents do. And so this is, I wouldn't get super excited if this was all it was, because this is essentially me going and recruiting agents. But the tiers are what got me, because I could bring on Tyler. Tyler knows a bunch. He's been in the business for a few decades and knows a ton of agents, and he's done really well of introducing the model to his friends, and they saw that, wow, what a great opportunity, and they came over. So now when Tyler starts bringing people over, they're on my tier 2. In every capping agent that Tyler brings over, I'm going to get $3,200 every year. So that's where it really gets exciting.
Yeah, and there's no cap on the width of how far you can go and how many people you can enroll. So again, I mean, income disclaimer, I mean, there's people in eXp that are making life-changing 6-figure incomes just based on the rev share. And, they no longer have to produce and sell real estate, and they're not exchanging hours for dollars anymore.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever fully retire, but I like that I have the option to at eXp. I still do a few deals a year, but I don't have to anymore. And it's actually really nice. So here's the breakdown on what you need to do to unlock all 7 levels. So like I said, tier 1, that's unlocked automatically. Everybody on your tier 1, you're going to get 3.5% of their gross commission. And then tier 2, those are the people that your agents brought on. You need, if you look over on the right side, you need 5 agents on your tier 1 to unlock the full amount on tier 2. Now, just to back up a little, on all tiers 2 through 7, you always get this sliver, I call it. It's 0.2% or something like that. But when you unlock it, tier 2 goes from 0.2% up to 4% of the gross commission. So it's really a big deal. And then to unlock your 3rd tier, you need 10 agents on your front line. 4 is 15, 5 is 20, 6 is 25, and then tier 7 jumps up to 40.
And that's cumulative. It's not in addition to.
Exactly.
Total number.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
And there's your percentages. So that left side is the sliver you always get. And, get significant up at tier 6 and 7. It's 0.5% of their gross commission for people you've probably never met. But if it's unlocked, it jumps up to 2.5% and 5% on those tiers. So
yeah, and you said something really important. The people that you've never really met, that's really when your organization starts to take on a life of its own and starts to grow exponentially. And people start showing up in your organization that are in your downline that you have no clue of, and they're outside of your city and state a lot of times.
Yep. Okay, yeah, it's a great model. I love it.
So that's it. So let me open up comments here. Let's see if we've got any. If you've got any, we forgot to mention this at the beginning. If you have any questions or comments and you're watching this in the live stream, or just to say hi, you can comment on the sidebar. We forgot to mention that. But that's it for Rev Share. It's been life-changing for both Jeff and I, and it's been one of the best decisions that I made as far as moving over to eXp, and just opens up a lot of different options. And next week, our next live, we're going to be talking about profit share, which to me is one of the more exciting things. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, yes, like the agent equity program and getting stock, and
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
that's we can't mention numbers really, but I have a really funny story about Bobby Verena and his stock. That like he didn't even know how to look where his stock was, a year and a half in, and he logged in and there was this we'll just say big number there. He's like, whoa. He ended up buying an RV.
Yeah,
Hey, we do have a comment from John Backer. Yeah, he says, when I joined eXp, I wasn't interested in recruiting, but my first rev share came from an agent who approached me. Great stuff. Exactly. You don't have to be out there. If you're just out selling houses, people are going to ask you, hey, how do you like eXp? It's that simple. And, if you reach out to people, they're not going to get mad. The meanest response I've ever gotten from somebody is, oh, thanks for reaching out, Jeff, but I'm happy where I'm at. No problem. So
yeah, in my case, I wish Jeff was more persistent with me. So he was being nice, and in reality, I wish he was a little bit more aggressive, because once I really understood it, like we said at the beginning, I would have made the move a lot sooner.
Well, that goes to show you kind of the power of the model, is that I'm not a great recruiter. I'm not a snappy dresser. I'm not a good looking guy. I'm just kind of a short, chubby guy. And I'm not slick, but I have over 100 agents in my group now, just from being honest about the model and being helpful, essentially.
Yep, and that's what I like about Jeff. He's real, he's helpful, and that's what we're here for. And then the other nice thing about eXp is, because of the profit share, which we're going to talk about, everybody kind of works together, because the better the stock does, the better we do, just because as agents, you've got the ability to be a shareholder within the company. So another neat thing about it, which we're going to talk about next week. So like to keep it short and sweet. We're going to wrap it with that. If you have any questions about eXp, you want to reach out to us, our number is scrolling there. You can call, text, find us on social media. We are here to help. So I appreciate you jumping on this live, Jeff. And
you bet.
Have anything you want to add?
No, we'll see you next week.
Great. Make it a great day, everyone.